Hello, Sharleen Cooper Cohen.
How are you?
You've got a writer's name. Three names instead of just two.
Yes, well there's a reason.
Why is that?
I was married and widowed very young to my sweetheart, and I kept his name as an homage to him, and then I remarried my wonderful husband and of course used his name too.
Okay. You've got a great musical here, and you've written the musical version based on the film from 1982.
That's correct.
One of the top 10 love story films of all time.
Of all time, and much copied. I know that people have seen someone carrying out a girl in their arms in cartoon, The Simpsons, and in all kinds of funny ways. It's a very iconic moment.
And so, how did you write this? What was the procedure you used? What made you want to write this in the first place?
Well, I thought about, as a producer, what iconic, beloved musicals there are in the world. Say Camelot, Carousel, Sound of Music, Oklahoma. What do they have in common? They have a great love story, and they're in a milieu that really interests people and tells them new information about a life which they may not know about. And I thought An Officer and a Gentleman had all of those elements.
And so you contacted
I tried to get the rights in the late 1990s from the studios who I thought owned the rights. And they were not granting rights for theater stage to anybody, although I tried very hard. And then I met Douglas Day Stewart. I heard about him and I searched out his phone number and I asked him to lunch and I pitched my idea to him. And shortly thereafter we made a deal to work on it together as co-book writers, and I would be the producer.
What year was that you first?
That was 2002. And here we are 10 years later, just about to launch the musical.
And you've written a lot of books and written a lot of stage plays
Stage
as well.
plays.
What are some of the most successful
books that I've written? Well, there were 7, and 2 of them really made top bestseller list. Love, Sex, and Money, and The Ladies of Beverly Hills. And they're still available all online. You can download them into your Kindle or your electronic reader.
Do you have a widely female readership?
I have both, because the books are not strictly romance. They're really strong mainstream fiction with strong male characters and strong female characters. And I found that I'm always attracted to a story where the character has to overcome impossible odds to succeed, does overcome those odds, and then goes on to a successful life. Having been widowed at the age of 30, I had to overcome an enormous obstacle of living without my beloved and raising 2 children and paying debts. And that theme seems to be what I write about. And that's partially the theme of An Officer and a Gentleman. Our lead male character is someone who comes through the streets, and he has to get down to his core roots in order to overcome that behavior and become an officer and a gentleman.
So you draw on your own emotions from your own life to write?
That's how I started writing, because crying wasn't enough, and I wrote to deal with mourning.
Wow, well said. So do you expect that there'll be mostly mothers and daughters, as Simon Phillips said, coming to the show?
No, I think it's a very strong man story that men will find that it resonates in their soul, and they will love the character and his journey.
Right, thank
it's
you.
really a stronger male story than it is a romance.
Is it? For what reason?
Well, because the man story dominates the book. He's the character that we care about and we follow, and we love the girl, and the romance is there, but it's his movement and his decisions that carry the show.
What would be your advice to somebody beginning in this industry as a writer or even a producer? What would you say to them?
Don't give up. I'm doggedly determined. Some would say crazily so, and I just don't give up. I keep going and going and going. I remember years ago I was doing a show and I was trying to find some producers to co-produce with me, and I was introduced to 2 people, and they wanted me to pay them to market my show, and I said, no, I don't think I want to do that. And they screamed at me, you are a loser, your show is terrible, and you'll never be a success. And I just couldn't listen to that. I mean, it hurt, but I just kept going on.
And it's a great, happy job. Do you like it?
I love it. It's constantly being challenged. There's constantly pieces to the puzzle that you have to discover and fit to your own way.
And you have an abundant imagination.
I guess so. 7 novels took a lot of imagination. This is Sharleen Cooper Cohen, and you are watching the Theater Network.